Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stacy Stanislaw, and I'm the Communications Manager for the Drexel Libraries. I want to thank you all for joining us for this afternoon's webinar. There's a method for that, using SAGE research methods with librarian Tim Siftar. This session is part of the library's fall webinar series called Building Connections to Scholarship. The event series includes over 15 different sessions that focus on tools and systems the libraries provides to help our Drexel Dragons with their research. You'll find all the details about the event series on our website, and I'll add a link to the chat box in just a second. And we hope you'll consider attending some of the other upcoming events. Now, before I turn it over to Tim, just a few logistical issues that I'm sure we're all pretty familiar with. First, please keep yourselves muted during the presentation. If you have any questions, just type them in chat and we'll answer them at the end. I also wanted to note that we are recording this session, and I'll post the recording on our YouTube channel later today. I will also send all attendees an email with a link to a survey, and we'd love to get your feedback about the session. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Tim. Thanks, Tim.
Great. Hi, Stacy. Thanks for this opportunity, and I'm delighted to be here talking to you about using SAGE research methods. And the overview of the talk, let's see. What I said the talk would be about is on the right, and what the talk ends up being about is kind of on the left with the bigger text here. So, you know, we're certainly going to talk about how projects get planned a little bit, and there is a tool for deciding which statistical methods to use. Devising a protocol for gathering data, that's something you might need to talk to your instructor about. Like, I'll show you. I like to say I'm a reference librarian and I refer people to the resources they need, but this we can definitely explore these options that we have here with textbooks, handbooks, videos, navigating this wonderful resource from SAGE, and we're doing this all by virtue of a demo, and if there's time for Q&A, happy to do that as well. So first I wanted to offer a definition of research methods and how, you know, at its most basic core, it's to research, but the research process is to produce new knowledge or deepen an understanding of a topic or issue. And there are three forms. Exploratory research helps identify and define a problem or question. Constructive research, testing theories and proposing new solutions. And then empirical research, testing the feasibility of a solution using evidence. Okay, which of these are we talking about? We are more or less talking about empirical research design using qualitative research and quantitative research. That's what SAGE research methods is strongest in. And basically this tool helps researchers choose methods according to the nature of the research topic that they want to investigate and the kind of questions they want to answer. So qualitative and quantitative research. And again, this tool focuses, and this publisher, SAGE, focuses mostly in the social sciences. So here's a lot of text. This is Wikipedia talking to you. And so I just want to make the distinction that qualitative research is, you know, doesn't necessarily start with a testable hypothesis. It's really like about fuzzy topics and emerging themes. Think about like a focus group or something. And so it's associated with the philosophical and theoretical stance of social constructionism, that people construct their social reality. So it is more about, you know, opinions and worldviews and that sort of thing. And then quantitative research, which a lot of people, when they think of research methods, you know, it's statistics and so forth. So that is, you know, looking at taking data and coming up with a narrow question and using numerical data to analyze it. Again, statistical methods, so forth and so on. And so this is more linked with the philosophical and the theoretical stance of positivism, proving things, scientific method that most people typically think of, data, proving hypotheses and so forth. A lot of times qualitative and quantitative will be used together, and qualitative helps you kind of define the issues that you then want to test using quantitative research. So let's see, is this all I had with slides? That's all for this slide deck. And oops, I gotta share my other window, please. Okay, we're back. And how about this website here? So what we're looking at, Sage, this publisher, it's been around for a long time, and it's only within the span of my short librarian career, relatively short career as a librarian, that Sage, which has published lots and lots of books with this logo on the spine, that they've come out with an electronic version of everything, basically. So they have, you know, big old foundational texts, many of which get used as textbooks in classes. So if I go and search this title, in fact, it comes up in the books and more section of our library. And many faculty find themselves assigning electronic books in our collection as textbooks for their students in research methods classes. So I want to just highlight that, and I think I did in fact find this book. Yeah, so this book here from Sage, I have the second edition. Here's the third edition, and it's available online in the Sage Research Methods collection. So that's one kind of container, if you will, that Sage publishes in. The other kind of container that you can also find as individual books in our collection from the front page are these, what they call lectures or symposia, or really they're handbooks. So think, you know, textbook, handbook. Sage also produces encyclopedias and a couple other content types that we'll speak to when we get into the database, like videos and data sets. I'll say more about them. But I mainly wanted to tell you that, you know, this format, handbook, handy, gets you right in on the analysis of variance. That's very specific. It gives you, you know, 40 pages, a little smaller format, maybe that's 60 pages, but it gets you going. Again, there are many of these, many, and so in 1986, you know, there were 79. They've kept going on this. So this is their series they call the Green Book series, and it is quantitative methods. The other main container that they've been publishing in for a long time is the little Blue Book series, which is qualitative research methods. So just making that distinction. And again, many of these, and we will find them in our collection individually. And by virtue of this platform, we're going to search across all of them. So now we're going to go into the platform. I'm going to search databases A to Z. This is all of our databases. Looking under the S's, scrolling down to find, oh, look. So I told you Sage publishes a lot of stuff. They publish journals. Here's a specialty journals package they have. They have all sorts of ebooks, and here's Sage Research Methods online with videos. So videos. Now, even within this package, they're constantly releasing new content. And I think we have the base package of videos and the base package of data. But that's quite substantial. I'm just saying these publishers always figure out ways to produce more that you have to buy, you really want to buy. But let's look at their interface and just kind of have that guide us. So here, oh look, they're very nice picture of a very neat desk, a neater desk than mine, with a big search box. You could begin your search here and just start, analysis of variance. Their challenge as a publisher is to lead you in kind of an organized fashion to their wonderful publications, and I think they've succeeded in how to do that. The advanced search gives you, all the different handles into the literature, but they've kind of also thrown the advanced search on the front page here by saying, oh, I want to read a book, I want to watch a video, look up a reference, encyclopedia or dictionary or something, look at these green books or blue books I just mentioned. I want to practice data analysis. Now, what are these data sets? These are data sets, sample data, that are linked to the methods described in their other works. So sometimes they're even cross-referenced, like, oh, I want to do regression diagnostics, see this data set, because when you're learning about a method, you grasp first maybe the math and the approach and when you'd use it, but you may be starting out your career as a researcher and not have the data that you want to manipulate. Data sets is where you could find that. And then they have a couple other podcasts, listen to experts talk about this, because who else is publishing these works but experts in the field, a lot of academics, and they'll talk at you about that. And then they have some interesting little features like this project planner that give you kind of a decision tree through their literature. So I want to share the way that I most often access this tool, which is via, you could browse again, and this is there's a very big menu. You could browse by discipline, browse by topic, if that's, and look at all the disciplines that they cover. But research tools is kind of how I get into this, because it gives me some good context. There's that project planner I mentioned, but methods map. This screen on their interface kind of shows these bubbles. Can you see that behind the words? So we're going to go into this methods map interface, and maybe you'll see, maybe you like it, maybe you won't, but maybe you'll see why I like it, because as I navigate this huge collection of all these books, I'm really looking for smaller units of knowledge than an entire textbook or something. And this gives me the context as I go. So research methods is the universe of terms. I want to go into the narrower terms, and let's look at something. Can you see this? Okay, I'm going to bump up my screen. Oops. I guess that works. Research ethics is my, see, it changes state. Research ethics is my focus. Okay, now research ethics is my universe of content. Narrower terms. Oh, let's look at all these options. Informed consent, ethics, confidentiality, data ethics. Somehow these topics kind of branch, and narrower terms. Now data ethics is my universe of content. Narrower terms, privacy, security, consent. Let's click on consent, and I've reached the kind of a leaf node from my branching tree structure, and maybe that's where I want to search all the content on consent. And so here's my link to do that. It's, I don't know how intuitive that is, but it's given me a definition, and now for consent, and now I click on the link, and it searches all these different resources that I have. So wonderful. I'm excited to see it. Is it going to be one? Is it going to be 1,000? I don't know, but oh, it's going to be quite a lot. 3,000 results. So how effective is that in narrowing? Well, now I get to make some assumptions based on the format of the content, what's going to meet my needs. So this, you're evaluating your search results here. Then you have some options for filtering. Again, you can filter on content type, so books, etc. Discipline. Maybe I know I just want computer science instances where they mention consent, and date, and what's result type. Okay, I could look for chapters or whole works. That makes sense. Let's look at content type. And as I look down the right-hand side of filters, I could search within results. If I had, consent, some kind of consent or context. Here's a whole chapter in this book. This whole chapter is called Consent and the Ethics of Research with Children and Young People. I don't care about children. No, I don't want that. So I'm going to look at the next one. Oh, look, this is a video. Is a video going to make the point with my students? Could I embed this video in my course shell and get the point across? It's just a 2-minute video. That sounds very practical. Sometimes there's value in seeing, this looks like an animation, a walkthrough of one of these methodologies. So that may be a good way to go after it. It seems that there's software issues related to this. Anyway, you get the idea. But here are my little green books and my little blue books. I kind of know that package. And if I'm looking for a 10-week course focus on consent, maybe I won't assign an entire textbook on consent. Maybe it's just a portion of what I'm teaching. But I could, ask my students to cram 60 pages in on one topic of interest. So I would turn off, select all, and look at the little green books for, methods that dealt with this consent issue. And again, I'll be interested to see if there's an entire green book. Oh, internet data collection. You can imagine consent would come up there. And here it's showing you the highlighted terms in context. Experimental design. Okay, so you get this, how this works. Pretty much now you're evaluating results and digging in where you want to. Now, I guess I did also, I don't know if I have any of the content type. Oh, here it describes what little green books are. Okay. There's a lot of backstory to this content. It's not as obvious as just like research articles. They're trying to guide you through this, fairly extensive and specific body of knowledge. I did want to specifically show what an example of of data looks like. So let's see if I did that. So here I searched for a data set, and I wanted to show an example of what that looked like. Yeah, I started browsing the data sets, and I could browse by discipline, method, data type. Oh, this is not my search result. This is the featured content. But let's look for multiple regression related content, and come on. What I wanted to show is that there's, okay, learn about multiple regression with dummy variables in SPSS with data from the Canadian Fuel Consumption Report. It doesn't really matter where your data is from when you're just learning the method. Learn about multiple regression with dummy variables in SPSS with data from the General Social Survey. Okay, And what do I get when I click on that? I get, do I want a CSV, comma, separated file, or do I want a .dta for use with stata, or stata? Do I want to use it formatted for R, or with SPSS, or some Excel? So, and then there's also a code book, which, if you're familiar with this, format of data, it explains the variables, it explains the parameters, kind of like, the notes behind the column headings on a very detailed Excel spreadsheet. So, and the values. So, forget searching, advanced Google search by format to find data sets. If you've got something here, you're in luck. So this is pretty much what I wanted to cover in our short exploration. I did want to also show an example of the videos. There's software guides. Here's videos. There are interviews, lectures, tutorials, a case study. Let's look for, oh, you know what? I did want to show the project planner. Let's look for what they call an in-practice video out of 121 on this topic. Here we're back at my search for consent. There's a practitioner talking about conducting oral history interviews on the record, published in 2017, and it's 3.5 minutes. So this is like having a guest lecturer in your class, and very effective quality resources. I highly recommend just try one and see if you like them. This one's 6 minutes, this one's 12 minutes. So, when finding media to enrich your class, this can do it for you. The one other tool that I wanted to highlight under these research tools, okay, they have readings lists. I kind of get what that is. I haven't really explored that too much. But these two, Project Planner and the Which Stats. Project Planner is just kind of basic. Is it fun? I don't know. It's begin your project. What is the philosophy? How to define a topic? What is the difference between methods and methodology? Ooh, these are all good questions. You can find out more. So it's really giving you ways to delve into their content at the level that you find you might need. So this is kind of shortcut through their content in a way that doesn't really change based on the path you travel through it. It's just whether you dip down deeper into it or not. Project Planner, okay, you get that. But the one that I think is fun is this Which Stats test, because for the novice, this asks you questions based on your research objective and your data, and leads you to content that will get the job done. Again, so this is more the novice. For teaching, I think you can teach students the basics, get them to practice it, and then kind of throw them in the deep end with this. Oh, what is the purpose of your analysis? Follow these prompts. I want to look for differences between sets of data. Okay, next. How many groups are you comparing? Well, I have the A and the B. Oh, I have 2 groups. Okay, next. Is your data paired or unpaired? It was paired because A and B answered the same questions. Okay. What measurement level is your outcome variable? Oh, what did we learn in class? It's ordinal. Okay. I know that because I designed the survey. Okay, here's the suggested test. Okay, how would I have gotten here otherwise? You know, it's okay. Let's click on and find information based on this. Here's an encyclopedia that talks about the Wilcoxon signed ranks test. So, example, table, even the encyclopedias are very hands-on and practical. So anyway, this is hopefully good introduction as far as how you could use this in your classes, and it's it's a lot to navigate, but here they've given you all these different handles, much more effective than a row of books just on a shelf, and little features like how to cite this entry and share it and add to your own list and stuff. So I encourage you to explore this, especially if you're teaching faculty or a new researcher, or just someone who wants to brush up on an entry, a definition or a method, because this really is kind of a standard in at least the social sciences, but it can go beyond that as well for researchers. So that's essentially, there's a method for that. Here's the pitch. So I'm going to stop share and say, Stacy, do you want to say any words to conclude?
Just thank you very much, Tim. It doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'll leave it to you to end it, I guess.
Okay, well, thanks. I look forward to seeing you in the library or on the chat.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.